how can using the correct tee height help you hit longer, straighter drives? Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson. Welcome back to Get Good at Golf. On this video, we're going to talk about tee height. We're going to talk about what potential errors you might be making, and we're going to show it you all in the Golf Stand Simulator. So I've got this tee height set at 1 inch, as you can see here. Chris goes down, you can see that if I have the club head there behind the driver, you won't see that golf ball at all. So you may think, actually, James, that's good because the ball's in the middle of the driver there, and that's exactly where I want to hit it from. And yes, we do want to hit it out the middle. I mean, in an ideal world, we'll get it a little bit higher out of the top of the club, because what that allows us to do is actually get a more low spinning shot. So in order to hit the best drives possible, we want, in an ideal world, low spin, high launch, high ball speed. That is a concoction for good drives. If I were to hit you a drive here where the ball's just a little bit too low, you can see there the ball comes out the bottom of the club, and that is actually a worst case scenario. That's gone 6 yards carry. So if you, that wasn't a bad golf swing either, it was just teed too low. Yes, I could have probably done a little bit better. I'll hit you one more just to show you what happens when you do launch it. And if it is too low, that is a possibility of what might well happen. So if I try and really get this ball launching, you can see that I've struck it really, really badly. It's a really high spin shot. The ball's had to fade in order to go anywhere. And the reason for that is I've opened the face up on it because I know that ball needs to get up in the air. So why wouldn't I give it a good start by teeing it up just a little bit higher? So on the Golf Stand Simulator, we can actually change that. So I can change it. Oh, I can go 1 point. I can, Chris, I can go. Oh my God, look how high this is going to go. I can go 2.4 inches.
Really?
I have no idea we could do that. I'm not going to lie. That seems excessive. What do you think, Chris?
It's a little bit high.
That's a little bit high. Most of us will probably ruin our brand new driver here, and that certainly isn't what we want. Now, you might see people like Martin Borgmeyer, you might see people like Carl Berkshire use this method, and they're going to have the ball really, really far forward. You're going to see a lot of weight movement, you're going to see a lot of hand speed and rotation, and you might be able to do so. If you're very, very highly skilled and you are a long driver, then you're going to get the low point about here. Then the club starts working up on the arc and around the body, and that is how you can actually start to get really low spin drives. You'll see people using mega low lofted drivers, you'll see them releasing the club really early, you'll see a lot of high speed, but the problem for most golfers is, I'm not even going to do this because it's going to ruin my driver. You'll basically go under it. I didn't want to leave a big sky mark on my Paradigm triple diamond driver, but it really isn't conducive to hitting good drives. It's something that takes a lot of practice, and it's just, to be honest, way, way too high. A lot of people will also hit the ball out of the middle of the stance, so if you then hit down on that ball, that's the kind of shot I was trying to show you. That's carried 0.45 yards, though, because the last thing I want to do is leave a big horrible sky mark on my driver. You can get this working. I mean, I think I'm going to struggle to get this going anywhere particularly that I want, but I'd rather have this than one that is a little bit too low. You can see I've sent that left, wasn't the best strike. I've got okay distance out of that. That's gone 268 in the air, but I've really had to manufacture something there. That's not a bad spin either. That's probably one of the better efforts of me doing that. And again, you can see I'm really trying to, I mean, those two strikes were totally and utterly different in the air. And that one you can see has robbed me of 10 yards. It's gone 256 in the air because I'm really struggling to get the middle of that club face. So essentially what we want here is just a nice middle ground on the tee height. So again, we jump on the Golf Vision. So again, we jump on the Golf Zone 2 Vision system. And you might think of these as different tee colours. So you might go yellow, you might go pink, you might go orange. I personally think we all know these colours, don't we? I think the pink is pretty much perfect. I don't know why it's pink, to be honest. I know for some reason that puts some male golfers off. It really shouldn't do unless you really do struggle with your masculinity. I think the orange, or sometimes they are silver, aren't they? For me, they're a little bit too high. That's more on the basis of the tee that you've just seen. I think the white ones are no good for anyone because they're probably too high for a 3-wood.
A mini driver.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm here all week.
I never thought that, but the white ones are probably older because drivers used to be smaller realistically. But they're no good for anyone now because they're too small for a normal driver, they're too big for a 3-wood. So a mini driver, they are perfect. The pink ones, however, I think they are about 1.6, aren't they, in inches. And this is just a nice tee height for you to be able to have the correct ball position just forward, just kind of inside that left toe. And from there you can take the club away, you can load up to the top of your backswing, you can have a nice proper stretch, and then as you come down into impact, that club is going to have its low point just in front of the ball. You're still going to work up on the ball because that's going to lower the spin rate, and hopefully it's going to help you keep control of that club face rotation. The problem is, if you have the tee too high, which we spoke about earlier, I spoke about the release of the club. So when you release the club actively with the hands, I said this video is going to help you hit longer, straighter drives, which is very, very important. So if your hands are rotating massively here, it's very difficult to square that club face up. If your ball is in the right position, the tee's at the right height, then you can release that club with your chest, with your upper body, and you see the club head is just square to the arc the entire time, so you should be able to hit straighter shots. Now this ball is on the correct tee height, I should now be able to hit the shots that I want to hit. You can see that's a much better shot, fading back into the middle of the fairway. And for me, this is something which so many golfers do wrong. You need to make sure that you get the correct tee height so that you can have the best fundamentals, so you can get good at golf.